All right, everybody, so welcome back. So we are talking about now the Level Up workshop, and we do have in studio this morning managing partners and directors of Andersen in Trinidad and Tobago, Mikhail Baines and Candell Robley. Gentlemen, thank you very much for coming this morning.
Pleasant morning.
Yeah?
Pleasant morning.
Mikhail, let's talk a little bit about Andersen in Trinidad and Tobago. Let's begin our conversation in that way, and we'll move on into other things.
Morning, viewers. Prior to being Andersen in Trinidad and Tobago, we were Robley Baines Tax and Accounting, and that would have started back in 2018. And in 2019, we had the tax amnesty. And Kendall and myself, being accountants, we would have noticed in the marketplace that SME businesses, they did understand the meaning of having financial statements and management accounting. And back in 2019, we'd have done some workshops to help SMEs be able to leverage their operations. And Andersen Global, back in that time, they would have seen the work that we would have done. And in 2020, they would have reached out to us to become a collaborating firm to join their network. And over the last, from 2020 into 2023, we would have collaborated with them, and being, coming out of COVID, being able to go to the global partner meetings, their values would have aligned with us, and we would have made a decision in 2023 to take on the international name. And the reason being to bring in more international clients, thus, becoming a foreign earner to the Trinidad and Tobago economy.
Yeah. Candell, let's talk a little bit about, I want to speak a little more about this partnership, because Mikhail said, well, here's what, Andersen, that organization, the values of Andersen aligned with what you all were doing. Yeah. What has Andersen brought to the table, you think?
Well, in terms of the professional landscape, improving the professional landscape in Trinidad and Tobago as it pertains to tax, business valuation services, and so also legal services. Andersen is a global membership firm, over 19,000 professionals in over 170 countries worldwide, with over 2,000 members. So we are one such member, and the first member for Trinidad and Tobago in the Caribbean landscape. Yeah. So what it will provide is improved professional services within the Caribbean region, and leverage with the international market. We could bring that to Trinidad and Tobago. So once we align with that, because there's a couple of big four firms around, right? And we are such that we align ourselves to an international body that we could improve the professional landscape within Trinidad and Tobago. Mm-hmm. So I guess it's a give and take. We are seasoned professionals in Trinidad and Tobago marketplace, and we want to extend that to our clients here in Trinidad and Tobago and the wider Caribbean, more or less.
Mikhail, I want to get a little more, before we get on to the workshop, I want to get a little more into the work that Andersen does in Trinidad and Tobago, the services that you all provide.
So we provide taxation services, business advisory services, corporate secretarial services, and what, as Kendall would have alluded to, we have local businesses if they want to expand regionally or internationally. So if they want to go into Guyana, they want to go into Jamaica, they want to go into Barbados, we could facilitate it through the Andersen network. Likewise, if they want to expand internationally into Latin America, North America, Asia and Europe, we could also again facilitate it through the Andersen network. Likewise, if multinationals looking to set up shop here in Trinidad and Tobago, we do all the taxation and advisory work.
Yeah. Who's this service for? Because, sometimes you do have business owners out there, people who are running the small and medium businesses, and they're going to say, this is a little bit too much for me,
Yeah.
And sometimes when I ask that question, usually the answer is, well, it's for everybody who is in business.
Correct.
Right?
Correct. Yes, Marlon. It's for more or less small to medium and medium to large firms.
Yeah.
Right? Our service providers, the last 6 years or so, we would have worked heavily in the SME market. And the last couple of months, we are working more or less the medium and large business sector. We are currently embarked on a roadshow here in Trinidad and Tobago, and we are speaking to multiple stakeholders in the marketplace at this point in time. We are collaborating with the Trinidad and Tobago Chamber of Industry and Commerce, where we're going to provide those services to our business, to the business community here in Trinidad and Tobago. So, yes, the level up training workshop is targeted to the SME market and the small and medium-sized market. It's just to pull each of the business owners within the different levels in the development to some level of seeking their true potential. Mm-hmm. So our goal and objective is to ensure that the entrepreneur achieve whatever they set out to achieve.
Yeah.
So that's our end in mind, more or less.
Yeah. Gentlemen, studio, let's pull up the flyer for our viewers. And gentlemen, I see where you're saying this is an investment. Very, very, very smart to put that, the investment, because I think at the end of the day, the business owner wants to know what they are going to get from this workshop. Agreed. Let's talk a little bit. Let's get into the workshop. Talk about some of the components of this workshop.
Well, so workshop will be focusing on 4 pillars. Being an accounting firm and, dealing with local, regional, and international clients, you get to see what works and what doesn't work. So what we'll be looking at is one at business strategy, your business strategy. Then we'll be also looking at your sales and distribution. Area that we specialize in is financial statements and taxation, as well as you're looking at, talent management, recruiting, your human resource. Any effective organization, they have those 4, pillars and foundation as a well-oiled machinery. And we want to, bring that insight and information to the SME markets, even the medium-sized businesses, all businesses or all organizations, Marlon, as you know, it are work in progress. So we want to help them to, level up and take their business to the next level.
Yeah. Kendall, how do people register?
So they can register. We have our Facebook, Instagram pages and so on. They can register in there. They can also call and contact our business administrative office on a daily basis.
I'll take that. Mm-hmm. So I'll give the exact information. They could send an email to service@tt.andersen, and that's Andersen with ANDERSEN.com, or they could give a call to 398-6739, 398-6739. You could give a call or a WhatsApp information, and they'll be able to send across the registration form, and we'll take it from there.
Mm-hmm. What do you think for the participant should be or would be the biggest takeaway for the participant from them being a part of the workshop? What do you hope that they will take away from it?
Well, Marlon, that's a good question. We spoke about, a while ago, we spoke about strategy, business development, sales and distribution, right? Our team has worked rigorously to develop a system in which the entrepreneur could go through, which is 7 stages, more or less, Marlon, that would allow them to look at the infrastructure of the business from sales. How do they acquire, like level 1, the sales? How do you acquire the first 10 clients or so on within the business? Level 2 really look at what system need to be put in place to more or less get those clients coming consistently within the business, right? So we look at those infrastructures and that sort of thing. Put the CRM systems in place, more or less, and so the sales structure will more or less look at that. Level 3, we will more or less going through in detail in terms of what systems or internal controls that they need to be put in place to more or less manage the business enterprise successfully. SOPs, how your internal sales procedures, internal operating procedures, how effective that will work for you, right? So once they achieve those 3, and we look in depth in those 3 matrices. We say, well, yes, they look at organization fit. Now the business is now organized and fit to work and operate effectively. Because Malan, as you know, entrepreneurs, they just say they have a trade, they have a passion, they just want to go and look at the money. But they look at the small things. So during the workshop, we'll be looking at the small things, right? From the level 4 perspective, we more or less look at how it take home pay. What you're paying yourself now, because as you know, most entrepreneurs don't pay themselves. So what we champion is that the entrepreneur will start doubling their pay, right? Because now your business has a strategic fit, the sales system continues to run effectively and efficiently. More people coming into your business. You have a clear idea how they come in, how we tracking them, how we working. So now we could double your take-home pay. So we more or less recommend our entrepreneurs, we do 25% increase every quarter until they reach to the position where they're comfortable. They can manage themselves, manage their families, and they have some level of, yes, I did it, right? And then we look in the level 5 perspective, we more or less look at how they actually use their mentors. They also start to recruit board of directors, instill a board of directors to the mentors through different partnerships, different key people within the network to really help them to be successful in the future. So we look at the board structure, how the board structure should be made up of skilled professionals in different industries to take them to the next level. Because more or less, once you get a lot of professionals around you, now you're more secure in your future. And we want them to secure their future growth and development. And then the sixth stage would more or less be acquisition. How do you acquire new businesses? Not only the greenfield level of actually going out, getting clients, sales, selling, and so on, but seeing whether or not you can acquire a business in the same industry, right? Because, Marlon, quite frankly, this is doable within Trinidad and Tobago marketplace. A lot of businesses is going out every day, going out of business. A lot of people getting older and so on. They go into the pensionable years. They want to get out of business. So we more champion the cause of those entrepreneurs now to see whether or not you can invest in acquiring new businesses and gain some level of stability in the processes, because we already work in those systems. And the last stage, we maybe take exit. But Mala, I want to say we don't practice what we preach. We don't just talk this thing, right? In December of last year, Michael and myself, through our parent company, would have acquired our business, which is in legal and taxation services here in Trinidad and Tobago. So we don't really tell our entrepreneurs that this is what you ought to do, but we actually practice what we preach,
right?
More or less, yeah. So in the train, more or less, just a recap. And to close off, we more or less take them through a seven-stage process and procedures with our industry experts and so on, including ourselves in tax and investment arena. We will take them through the processes, and I think this workshop will be very, very important for those entrepreneurs at different stages of their development to come and work with us to achieve their goals and objectives in life.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Mikhail?
Yeah, any business owner, it could be a struggle out there, by yourselves, so, and those that tend to make it, they have a mentor, a good team that is around them, and for them to make the investment, spend a couple of hours. The workshop is on the 18th of May in Trinidad here at the Shakonia Hotel, and it goes from 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. And it's in Tobago on the 25th of May from the TITL Training Center, again from 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. The investment is only $700. I believe you make the investment in yourself. You get to see like-minded entrepreneurs. You get to see strategies that have worked effectively for businesses that are able to scale, and you get to take your business to the next level, and have someone here to help you implement those strategies and to hold your hand. So,
yeah, Kendall.
Yeah, I would just close by saying, Marlon, our intention and our goal and objective is to more or less allow our entrepreneurs here in Trinidad and Tobago to reach their true potential, right? We aim to entrepreneurship excellence, but you may need expert guidance, expert support, and we are offering our services to the entrepreneurs here in Trinidad and Tobago.
Yeah. Mikhail, just give us, our viewers, the contact information again that you had given us earlier.
Yeah. They could send an email to service@tt.andersen, ANDRSEN.com, or they could call or WhatsApp at 398-6739, 398-6739.
Yeah. Gentlemen, it was a pleasure speaking with you all this morning. Thank you very much for coming, and we wish you all the best with your workshop. Yeah?
All the best, man.
All right, everybody. We are going to a very short break. We are coming back.